Have you heard of the Cobra Effect? In this video, I want to talk about system traps and some common ones we often find in business. By the end of this video, you will be able to identify different types of system traps and understand how to avoid them in your organization or business. But first, let me tell you a story. During the days British ruled India, many areas were overrun with cobras, and the government needed a plan to address it. Originally, they decided to put a financial reward in place for every dead cobra that the people brought in. However, after some time, people realized that they did not have to risk their lives hunting wild cobras. Instead, they could just breed and kill them for a faster and easier reward. And so they did just that. When the government discovered this loophole, they decided to abolish the program, to which the people released their bred cobras because they were now useless. This resulted in having more cobras around than they started with. This phenomenon became known as the Cobra Effect, and it is the perfect example of a system trap. It's a specific type of system traps where incentives designed to solve a problem end up encouraging the wrong kind of behavior. The goal of the British was to decrease the cobra stock in India, but because of the complexities of the system, they ended up increasing them instead. System traps are ways a system can go wrong despite the fact we made a reasonable effort for it not to. Let's explore some of the common system traps out there. The first one I want to talk about is seeking the wrong goal. This is perhaps the biggest trap out there. This is where a system pursues a goal that is not aligned with its purpose, values, or vision. This can lead to unintended or harmful outcome, as well as a loss of motivation, trust, or credibility. For example, in business, this could be when a company focuses on short-term profit at the expense of long-term sustainability, customer satisfaction, or social responsibility. The second system trap I want to talk about is rule beating. This is where a system creates rules or incentives that are intended to guide or regulate behavior, but instead encourage cheating, gaming, or manipulation. This can lead to distortion of reality, a waste of resources, or a violation of ethics. For example, in business, this could be when a company sets unrealistic targets or quotas that pressure employees to cut corners, falsify data, or compromise quality. Another common system trap is called success to the successful. This is where a system rewards the winners and penalizes the losers, creating a feedback loop that reinforces this inequality. This can lead to a situation where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, or where a dominant group monopolizes the resources and opportunities. In business, this could be when a company with large market share gets more access to capital, talents, and customers, while smaller companies struggle to survive. Another common trap is called escalation. This is when two parties in conflict try to outdo each other by increasing their actions or stakes. This can lead to a vicious cycle of retaliations and counter-retaliation, often with negative consequences for both sides. For example, in business, this could be when two competitors engage in price war, cutting their profits to unsustainable levels. The last system trap I want to mention is called drift to low performance, which happens when performance standards of a system slowly decline over time, but often in such a subtle way that it becomes unnoticeable until a sudden massive issue. In business, this could be lowering product quality or customer service standards, which might at some point completely drive away customers. There are many other different system traps out there, but we want to keep this video short, so we're going to stop here. So how can we avoid those traps? Remember, system traps are inherently human. The Cobra Effect and success to the successful happen because we naturally want to maximize our own gains. Rule beating happens because we want to keep our jobs, etc. And so when designing or tweaking systems, always consider the human element. Keep in mind that many of our systems are guided by people like me and you. So always ask yourself, what would I do in this situation? Only then you can start designing your system to avoid those traps. To wrap up, we have explored the concept of system traps, understanding their types and the human behavior that often leads to them. Let me ask you now, what are system traps that you can find around you? Can you name a business that used to be great a while ago, but has been drifting to low performance that it is not great anymore? Have you experienced role beating? Share your experience with us in the comments below.